Exams are finished. Let's go, frérot, on est là. And I'll be honest with you, like, it's quite underwhelming. Like, they're done, but I feel empty. I don't know how to explain it, but I think it's just that we've been so goal-driven for the past, month and a half, that, like, it's all gone, and it's like, oh, like, what do we do from here? But nevertheless, I'm quite happy, like, it's finally done. Because, I've given it my best shot, to be honest. Like, I don't have any regrets with any way the results may go. I don't have a single regret, and I think that's the mentality that I wanted to have, so that, this summer I can enjoy it fully and not have a regret of, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that. So now I can live my summer, like, fully. I'm free. But yeah, so study leave was, I think, different for everyone, but I'll talk about my personal experience with it. And let me look in the camera first of all. Sorry, mate. Sorry, I get a bit shy. Stage fright, innit? No. Yeah, no, for me, I dealt it, for me it's basically the same routine. I'll be honest with you, I did quite a lot of work before exam season, so I could, kind of lay back a bit more when the real big exam crunch came in. So I'm grateful for that. And I'm quite a disciplined person. Like, I had my set schedule, like wake up, do the morning routine, go library, lock in, pass papers, and I was like on repeat. It got really boring and like sick. I was sick of it at the end, but I had to keep pushing, even when it got tough. Sorry. So yeah, that's that. So this video is not really about the academic side, I guess, of how should you lock in for exam season. There's plenty of videos out there. I just want to give my personal experience, because if you're in like year 12 or any year, to be fair, even uni, I guess it applies. The things that I learned from study leave, I'm quite grateful for them, because obviously we all spent a lot of time on our own, locking in our own houses, and it gave me a lot of time, a reflection, to be fair, like introspective, a bit too much time, to be fair. Like, there was days where I was feeling really bad, like mentally, and there was one day where I spent the whole day thinking, like no phone, no whatsoever, just thinking straight from the morning to the afternoon. And yeah, I'm a bit of an overthinker, to be honest. Like, it's not a good trait, I guess. Like, I was thinking a lot about myself, the person I'm becoming, the future, family, friends, relationships, all like the whole lot. And it's quite tough because obviously everyone was locked in, so there wasn't really people that I could talk to, like, cool, and say, yo bro, I need help. And I'm not really someone that does that anyway in the first place, but even then I would have felt like I'm taking the time, because everyone's locking in, so it's not really fair. I'm struggling to think. Oh yeah, sorry. So yeah, I spend a lot of time with myself, as I always do, to be honest. I've always been like that, to be fair, since I was a kid. I've never really had the urge to ask people, oh, can we talk? I'm not feeling well. Like, I've always dealt with problems with my own self. I guess it's good to an extent, but it made me realize that you need people to live, to be honest. Like, it sounds like cliche and it sounds obvious, but I did come to that realization, to be honest, because in this exam season, like, I think simultaneously I was talking to maybe only like 4 people, like, properly, and even then it was like reduced to like the bare minimum because of locking in. And these are 4 people that I'm very grateful for, to be honest, because they're the real ones. They're the people that were saying like, oh, good luck for this, good luck for that, I hope you're well, blah blah blah. And it did a lot of good mentally for myself, because I think one of the things that I miss the most about school is seeing the boys, the lads, at every lunch, every break. And I think the fact that they were talking kind of spot that sensation a bit, and it did me a lot of good mentally. Because I'll be honest, I was struggling at one point. Okay, for a bit of context about myself, I'm someone that's quite, I wouldn't say introverted to that extent. I mean, I guess deep inside I'm introverted, but I've grown throughout the years and become more and more extroverted. I've kind of like detached myself from the shy boy label. Like, now I can talk to anyone, to be honest. So I'm quite happy for that. But what was I saying? See, this is my problem, bro. I beat around the bush, yeah, and then I go from point A to point B to point C to point Z, and then I just get lost in my own sayings. But yeah, I've been saying that. So I'm someone that's quite introverted. Like, I don't really tend to need people to check up on me. But I think if there was one time where I needed help, it was probably like this one. Like, mentally for me it was quite tough, because I was stressing a lot about pressures that I put on pressure. 18 years of age, fucking hell, grow. So yeah, I was stressing a lot because I put a lot of pressure on myself, to be honest. It's not really related to school, really. I mean, I guess to an extent, but it's just about the way that I need to live my life, so that it's fulfilling. And right now, as things stand, my path that I envision and the path that Le Seigneur Tout-Puissant is putting me on is different to most people my age. Like, I don't really see myself going to uni. I think I've got the capabilities of going, getting a stable job, like in engineering, whatever, but it's really hard to admit, but deep inside it's not what I want to do. Like, it's very scary, to be fair, because I feel like I'm taking a leap of faith with no parachute, saying I want to do something different. That's, I guess, more risky, but inside I know that it's not what I know what I want to do, and it's different, but I just have faith in God that I know that it will work out eventually, no matter how hard it may become. But so yeah, for me it's very scary, because I'm taking a risky path with my life, and to be fair, like, I'm not really sad about it, because I think the fact that I'm doing that is a testimony that, no, a testament? Stick to French, mate. How do I say? A testimony, no. Sorry, I'm waffling. But for me, it was, I've lost what I want to say now. Yeah, so basically, moral of the story, I've been stressing about things that people, I guess, my age and generation don't need to stress about, because I kind of feel like the black sheep, no pun intended. I feel like, I don't know, my mentality, it's just the way my brain is wired. I feel quite different to most people, and I don't know how to explain it. I think I'll save it for another video. I'm sure you might feel the same, but I feel, quite isolated in the way that I think. I'll do a video on it, trust. So yeah, this study period kind of gave me a lot of things to, think about on a personal level. And I think I've got the whole summer to think a lot as well, because I was asking myself a lot of questions, more questions than answers. And yeah, so if you're in like year 12 or I don't know, it applies to any exam sitting person, to be fair. I would just say that you need to circle yourself with few people, not necessarily few. If you have a lot of friends, it's good, but for me, friends are people who I call my brothers, like, or sisters. Hey sister. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, the people, my friends, I think I can count them on, and this is in my whole life. It can be in England, abroad, like in the whole world. People that I can call my friends. I think I've got, I'd say, I can count them on my hand, maybe 5/6 basically, maximum. And that's not a lot, I guess, to your typical teen. I've got a lot of mates, to be fair, like I'm friends with everyone. No, sorry. See, this is the point. I want to make a difference between friends and mates. At school, I think I've got a reputation of like a chill guy. Like I don't think anyone hates me or anything. I've got beef with no one. I have no enemies. And so I talk to a lot of people, on a daily basis, like in the classroom, at lunch, in the dinner queue, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, they're not my friends. Most of them aren't my friends. They're nice people, but they're not my friends. Like, for me, a friend is someone who, I'll call them right now after this video and say, yo, bro, we need to talk. They'll pick up straight away, like, what's up? Yeah, we can talk. Someone that's always there for you, and vice versa. Brothers and sisters is the word. But yeah, I don't have a lot of friends, and I think it's a good thing, to be fair, deep inside. Quality is better than quantity, or quantity is better than... Nah, the first one, flipping out. Quality is better than quantity. That's the one. But yeah, so it made me realize I don't have a lot of friends, and I'm quite grateful for that, to be fair, because I'm getting into a loop. Quality is better than quantity, so I'm not really upset about not having many friends. I prefer to have a few. I'm literally repeating the exact same thing over and over again in different words. So yeah, my point is, pick, a close circle. In fact, don't even make it a circle, make it a dot. Make it so small that it's very hard to get in, but at least you have people of quality. Can we skip? I'm going to skip the topic because I'm just going in a loop. But yeah, my point is that study made me realize who the real ones were. The people that were wishing me good luck, or how you doing? And even though we weren't talking as much as we normally do, I'm still grateful that we were talking. My brain is not thinking straight, flipping out. What's one last thing that I learned from study leave? I'll get back to you. I don't know, brain fog. Okay, this is gonna be it's gonna maybe sound mean, but it made me realize, a lot of us, year 13s, obviously you apply for UCAS. I want to do bio, I want to do media, I want to do law at uni, blah, blah, blah. And I think me personally, right, I'm someone who's I'm really goal driven. I know what I want to get. I know what I need to do to get there. Even though it requires a lot of sacrifice and work, I know where I want to get, and I know that I will get there one day. But it kind of made me realize that, people in my class, like, I don't think a lot of them actually know what they want, like, deep inside. We've been mal-fed since the start of year 12. You need this, you need that. Personal statement, UCAS, blah, 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 blah. And I guess, fair enough, it's the safety route. But I don't think a lot of people my age have actually sat down with themselves. First of all, bit of a side tangent, parallel debate. Our generation's cooked because we don't actually spend enough time with ourselves and think, what does such and such want? Like, you who's watching this, your name is Samantha, and that's four yellow cards. I should be sent off. Just lock in. But we don't spend enough time with ourselves saying, what do I actually want? I can say with pride that I've done that, and I came to the conclusion that I want to live a life in such a way that's kind of risky, to be fair to the traditional lifestyle. But I'm confident that it'll play out eventually. But I felt kind of bad because a lot of people were locking in exams to get grades that might not even mean that much for them in the grand scheme of things. Like, I feel like they're just being dragged by the current, forced to believe that these grades are important. And obviously A-levels are important, I'm not trying to say, oh, you should skive your A-levels, blah, blah, blah. That's not my point. What I'm saying is that I think it's important to keep what you want deep inside. What does your child inside of you want? For me, that's the mentality to have. Not just engineering because that's what everyone's doing. Your dad's an engineer because you make a lot of money, like it's prestigious, blah, blah, blah. Like, don't do it because of that. And I'll be honest with you, that was me. Like, the only reason I would want to be an engineer is because it fits with the A-levels I do. I guess you can make money from it, and that's only like if you're actually good at it. I guess it's a stable job, all of that. And you know, like my point is that you have to keep your actual dream in mind. Even if you want to be like a dolphin breeder, how does my brain come up with, even if you want to be like a vet or a zookeeper, not a dolphin breeder, flipping out, bro, lock in, actually lock in. That's 5 yellows, that's a 3-match ban. But yeah, keep your dream in mind, I think, is the important thing. As small as it may be, no dream is too small, to be honest. No dream is too big. But yeah, I think it's important because life is too short. It's very cliche, but it's actually really true. Like, life is too short, and you know, in 5 years time, you might embarrass yourself right now. I might be embarrassing myself making videos that school might find out, and sure, it might be cringe to people, but in 5 years time, people will have forgotten. You wouldn't have forgotten because it's your passion, it's your hobby, maybe your job in the future. And the people that were laughing at you once, they're not gonna remember the embarrassment. Like, I think everyone said that before, but you know, think of the most embarrassing memory you've had in school. As embarrassing as it may be, I can guarantee that maybe 99 of people have forgotten it. And even if someone's remembered it, they can probably like laugh it off with you. So no one remembers your embarrassments. You need to keep your dream, keep it burning alive inside. Even if it's a small flame, you have to keep fueling it, because I think one of the saddest things about life, and especially adulthood, is, you know, you kind of get dragged into a career, and then one day you realize, you know, you've got kids, you've got everything, and it's like, oh, I wish I did this, I wish I did that. And that for me is my biggest fear. I'm not really scared of death, to be honest. Like, I can die tomorrow with a smile, and I think I wouldn't, obviously I'd have like small regrets here and there, but globally I wouldn't, because I've made decisions in my life, and sometimes it's been, you know, sacrifice, but globally I'm happy with the life that I've lived, and that's my mentality. You know, every day I try to live with no regret. Like, if I know that I'm going to regret something, then I do it, because then I can live with no regrets. I'm going to stop, but I'm waffling. I'm pro waffler, honestly. If that was an A-level, A star, 100%. But yeah, sorry for the yap. It's my first video back after a long time, so I need to clarify my speech and my thoughts. But yeah, so go look with your life. I mean, I'm guessing you finished exam if you're watching this, but go look for the rest of your life and everything, and I'll catch you in the next video. So hasta luego. Yeah, that's basically it. Mwah.